evening all, and welcome back if you follow me, and welcome if you're new, and I hope you follow me and help my channel grow. I'm all new to this and just, finding the right things to help my channel grow. So yeah, like, share, and save, and yeah, please help my channel grow, because the more it grows, the more I reach the people I'm meant to, and the more I can help others and guide them on their spiritual awakening path and twin flame path. And I've been guided to draw some cards from When Women Had Wings Oracle deck. So I wasn't going to come on today, but Spirit has other ideas. So that's me told. So yeah. So I'm not going to come on face today though, because I've not got ready. Also, yeah. But I drew 2 cards prior to coming on, because I've just finished a webinar activation before coming online. Because although I am now, they say I'm stepping into the role of the student becomes the master, because of all the initiations and healing and transformation and deep introspection of many years on my healing path. I've earned that, they're saying. I've earned that. You never stop learning. So even though the student does become the master, you are always the student. So, you humbly know that, when you are deeply connected spirit, you do know that yourself, that you are always the student. It's a never-ending journey, this. You never stop learning, you never stop adding to your skill sets, whether that's in my Reiki practitioner, or the angelic Reiki, or the light language. I am constantly learning and growing and evolving, and that is the soul. They're saying the soul never stops evolving. This path, you never ever stop evolving. So yeah, I just wanted you to know that. So let's get to the cards. But I kept getting When Women Had Wings, When Women Had Wings. I'm like, Spirit, I need to go for my tea, but no, Spirit has other ideas. So the 5 of Swords came out. Try and get this lighting right as well. See, I'm just figuring it all out. I'm very new to all of this. So this is a different. This is a different path. I'm taking. Although it's the same path. If you've been following me, I talk about detours a lot. It's the same path, but there's many twists and turns, to your path, so to speak. So it's all connected, but I'm still thrown in the deep end, sometimes with Spirit. They just like to surprise me. So the 5 of Swords: defeat, conflict and competition, a sense of sadness and loss, and winning at any cost, reckless words or actions causing disagreements or defeat, regret, disillusionment, emotional torment, confidence loss, the need to pick one's battles. Yeah, that's a pretty heavy card to start with, Spirit. I was feeling all nice and light before I came on. But, although this card does look all doom and gloom and sounds all doom and gloom, the need to pick one's battles stands out of all of that, for me. And because I've done this journey, I'm still on this journey, but I am through the 5 of Swords. I'm through this stage. there might be somebody out there that's just at this stage that needs to hear this, or many. Spirit's saying, yeah, pick your battles wisely. That means using your energy where it's most needed, you know. And on this path of ours, the spiritual awakening or the twin flame path, depending on what path is your individual soul path, it's so important because it's energetic. What we're doing, it's energy work, you know. It's all energy. We are all energy. It's so important to reserve that energy for the things that truly, truly matter. And you know what matters on this path, whether you are spiritual awakening or twin flame, is the same, especially the twin flame. So this is a twin flame soulmate reading. So what truly matters about picking your battles, you know, wisely, is that you put all that energy back into you, and you don't outsource that energy into, yeah, your twin flame. You know, the chasing stage. So you don't chase. And I know why they're saying this, because the more you chase on this path, the further your twin flame will run. Why? Because you are the same frequency. So you are mirrors of each other's energy, you know. So you are giving out that energy of need, want, you know, and then that repels your twin. So it's vice versa, you know. So that's why the dynamics can change also on this path, you know. The runner can become the chaser. It's the energy. It's the key to this path. And I can say the key now because the student has become the master, because my twin flame has returned. So I decided no longer to outsource my energy and waste it on battles that was doing me no good, you know. It really wasn't. I was just running myself into the ground. And it's easier to say, you know, when you're outside looking in, but when you are in this stage of the Five of Swords, it's harder, you know. I understand that. I've been there. I've experienced it. But what Spirit's saying is pick your battles wisely. Also on the spiritual awakening path, you know, because we go through a lot of judgment. Because we're changing. It's a big transformation we're going through on the spiritual awakening path. It's a huge, huge transformation that we're going through. Excuse my setup also, but again, did not know I was going to come on. I kept getting when women had wings and wings all day long, but I have been doing my webinar and my activations, so I can be the best version of me to guide others, you know. So I've been doing my student work today before, so I knew there was when women had wings coming through. But yeah, timing on this path also. Yeah, Spirit does not go by time, you know. Us humans do. We are set, you know, to time, so to speak, you know. We have that illusion that time is set. Spirit knows otherwise, you know. I'm learning that also, you know. Time to me these days, for a few years now. Yeah, I agree with Spirit. Time is an illusion. Three of Cups. Wow, that's a complete opposite to the Five of Swords, you know. The battles, the conflicts that we go through when we're behind these Five of Swords. Two, the Three of Cups. The freeness this lady's got, she's balancing them cups. she's the total opposite. And I know where Spirit's going with this, because once you do pick your battles wisely, and you start balancing the... So when you pick your battles wisely, then the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy then starts to stabilize. So when you stabilize those two energies in self, that inner union, that then stabilizes the inner union in self. Firstly, you start noticing the difference in yourself, that inner union, but also in the connection. So that is when, you know, my twin returned. Not straight away. There were signs and synchronicities that revved up, speeded up, should I say. I was seeing the same numbers about 4 times a day, and I knew there was a return on the horizon. But then you come to this balanced state in self, you know. When you pick your battles wisely, you become more balanced. And you can see this lady, she's so balanced. I mean, she's on one leg, tiptoeing. She's got her cups. She's not spilling anything out of those cups. So when you pick your battles wisely, and you know that these 5 of swords are, you know, these 5 of swords could be your ego mind. These 5 of swords could be outsiders, influences, external forces. But when you pick your battles wisely and you choose you, Spirit says, always choose you. So that means do the healing, you know. So all that conflict and disagreement, don't outsource that. It's just a waste of your beautiful energy. Put that into you. Pretty soon you will balance out the energies inside you, that inner union. That's just my mum's fan that has just dropped off my wall. So yeah, my mum could be giving me a sign also. So I shall put that back up soon. But that is when you start to feel more balanced, when you pick your battles wisely. Or you don't pick any battles at all. You just fall into surrender, you know, and you give it up to God. Very easy said than done when you are in this energy. So, you know, I can speak of that now. I've been there. So this energy for me, probably from the beginning to maybe a year back, maybe a year back, I was still going through that transition, you know, that process of transforming, and picking my battles wisely, and just knowing wholeheartedly, you know, that to balance this connection out, I had to balance myself out. How did I know that? I'm the divine feminine of this connection. I'm supposed to know that. I'm guided every step of the way. Still, you have to do the work. Spirit won't do all the work for you. You have to get yourself out from behind this 5 of swords. Yeah. So complete opposite energies. I know where Spirit's going with that. The balance of the two, you know. So one, we've got light. I'm just going to move these up here, just to make do tarot reading today with all my props and all that box. Spirit just threw it up on me. So when you're in this energy, you're in the lower energy. It's more of a darker, denser energy. Pulls you down pretty quick, you know, if you don't get out of this energy. It's really hard, so not going to lie. You can do it there. Anybody can do it. I did it, and by doing that, you know, I just focused all of that energy I was pouring into when's my twin flame going to return, you know, the codependency, the obsession that you can feel on the early stages of this journey. If you're a twin flame, you'll understand that. I was just focusing. that focus of the Five of Swords on the defeat and all the lower energy, I focused that on myself, you know, and I turned it around, you know. So the dark and the light, that's where Spirit's going with this. We've all got dark in us and we've all got light. We have the balance of the two. We do, but if we are unbalanced, more on one side than the other, that's the unbalance, you know. So that's when you're most likely going to be in the lower, denser energies of this path. You know, if you're more in your shadow, and then that's your transformation. You know, when you work through your shadow, you become balanced, you know, and you balance the cups also. Your cups meaning you know, the fullness in your own life, the love, the compassion you give to yourself. You know, you become this light. So the contrast is pretty different, isn't it, with the energies. So any more, Spirit? Have a look. Yeah, no, where Spirit's going with this. It's that balance, you know, we have to strike between the shadow of ourselves and the light of ourselves. Yeah, you have to decide, you know, that what do you want to keep, you know, behind these Five of Swords and being in that defeated energy and the shadows and conflict, or do you want to be this lady? Want to be more in your light, you know? But it's not about being more of one or the other, it's about that balance. Can't stress that enough. It's the energy, it's the divine feminine energy and the divine, whoa, flying up, and the divine, whoop, divine. This is what happens when Spirit just, there you go, just put that there. Use my crystals. So the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy, it is the balance of all of that, you know. So let's have a look here. So there's 5 cards that came out. Now, came out in that order. So let's have a look. So, yeah, okay, we'll take it. We'll take it in that order. That's how they came out. We have the Chariot. So again, when you are in, cards spinning out everywhere. When you are in this lower shadow energy, shall I say, and you know, you're in that defeative energy and this path is too much, and why have I been put on this path, and you're carrying these burdens, you know, you've got these 10 of Wands, and this energy just feels like it's just so much of a burden to carry, you know, and yeah, you just want to be out of this energy, to be quite honest. But you know, you're pushing through, you are pushing through, you are moving forward on this path, you know. Each tiny little step is little steps towards bigger transformation, so to get to this, you know. So these burdens that you are carrying, these angel wings also, you know, the wings, they look a little bit tattered and torn, but they're still angel wings, you know. And each step that you take forward, you know, that chariot moving forward on this journey, keep pushing through these burdens, then that light inside of you starts to emerge, you know. And these angel wings, although a little bit tattered and torn, they're coming back to you, you know. That's what's been hidden, your wings. So there we go. And yes, so behind the moon, yeah, things are very much unknown on this journey, Some are known, some are unknown. I would like to say I feel there's been parts of this journey I've known exactly what was going to happen, exactly when my twin flame was returning, that intuition in me, the intuition and the seer, my gifts I hold in me for taking this journey that's been retained. But yeah, very much parts of this journey are still unknown. And I think why they are unknown is Spirit wants us to push through these 5 of Swords, these 10 of Wands. Because if we knew, again, it takes us back to the student is now the master. If you are the master straight away, when you start this journey off, the unknown journey, how are we ever going to learn? How are we ever going to push through these 10 of Wands? Why would we take this journey? Well, we wouldn't, because we'd know it all, and nobody knows it all, nobody. So this journey is going to put us in these 5 of Swords, these 10 of Wands burdens. Why? Spirit wants to push us. Yeah, they want to push us. They want to push us as far as we can be pushed. Why? Because they know that we hold that light inside of us. They know how powerful this light is once it emerges, once we come back to our angel wings. They know what we are capable of. That's what they want for us. They want us in this energy. They're not punishing us. They're not doing it to do that. They want us to go through the trials and they want us to push through our pain, the burdens, the traumas, the wounds, the inner child, the shadows, all of that on this journey to emerge our light, from our light to emerge out. They want us to do that. Why? Because they want us to find our 10 of Pentacles. They want this for us. These 2 ladies here. There's a wolf, and I did a wolf Reiki and light language transmission not long back for the wolf moon. This card now, when I look at it, it's about finding your community. It's about finding your home, where you truly belong, and that's what this journey is about. It's about healing all that's needed to be healed inside of you. The shadow, finding your light, balancing the shadow and the light out, not getting rid of one or the other. It's about that balance. Then that takes us to our 10 of Pentacles. That takes us to our freedom, our true identity, not the false identity, what we've all been holding on to. The true identity, the soul is saying. It takes us back to, our divinity. That's what they're saying, the divinity inside us. It takes us back to that. And the last card that came out was the Queen of Wands. Now, the difference to, let's have a look, let me just put that there. The difference to this lady, I'm sure that you can all see that, is that she just looks so well put together, beautiful. She's got an angel wing crown on her head. She stands there, with that wand in her hand. Beautiful picture. She stands there in all the power. She's a queen. Of course she's going to stand there in all her power. She's earned it. She's took this journey. She's earned this title, She's very much in control of her life. She knows who she is. She will speak her mind, not to hurt people, but she knows who she is. She knows where she's been. She knows what she's come through. She's very much in control of her own soul path, She knows herself inside and out. She knows herself. Why? She's been behind that Five of Swords. She's been in this energy. She's pushed forward, you know, even with not knowing. You know, she's kept going, and she's pushed through those burdens. Those, you know, the burdens that we all have inside us, the wounds, the trauma, the inner child healing. You know, she's pushed through, even when it's been unknown. She's used her intuition and she's pushed through. And at the end of the journey, she's found the Ten of Pentacles, her happiness, her freedom, her authenticity, a wolf pack, and she's become this lady. She stands in a true power. I'm just going to read a little bit out of the book. Look, the Queen of Wands, yeah. Very, very, very powerful lady. Let's have a look. Yeah, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands. Right, yeah. Confident, independent, courageous, self-made. Yeah, she's self-made because, well, she's had to rebuild herself inside and out from this person behind the Five of Swords. You know, with all these wands to push up this. When I say hill, that's an understatement. It's a mountain on this path, especially the twin flame. I can't speak for the spiritual awakening, but twin flame is spiritual awakening. You know, it's just that my path, I'm connected to another body, you know, with same soul, same frequency, very rare, but yeah, it adds another, I'd say it added another burden to me. You know, if it was a spiritual awakening, I'm not sure it would have been that intense. I can't speak about that, but all I know is that my path, very, very, very intense, painful, confusing, frustrating, beautiful, magical, yeah, out of this world path. You know, that's as best as I can speak of it, but also spiritual awakening as well. You know, we're not just one, we are many. So my soul is an ancient soul, so more remembrances returns to me each time I do this transformation on this path. Hence why I speak of Mary Magdalene also. That's another remembrance that's returned to me the more I push my burdens out of the way on this path. You know, the remembrances return. That DNA gets activated inside of me. You know, each time I am humbly the student and I do the work, no matter how far I go or high I go on this path of mine, it does not matter. I am always the student, you know, the master is always the student. I'm forever learning, forever. Doesn't matter if I, you know, if I become this lady, it does not matter. I'm humbly the student. Yes, the master, but the student also. So let's read a little bit more of the book. So she's an accomplished person who shines brightly and is willing to share that light with others. One who can get things done because of an exceptional capacity to engage with others. A loyal supporter and initiator of encouragement. A warm, gregarious person who is a delightful social butterfly. Yeah, she's all of that. She's loving, she's beautiful, she's engaging, she's understanding, you know, she's compassionate. She embodies all of that. Why? Because she's been here. She understands this journey. I've been here. I've been here many, many, many times. Before my spiritual awakening also, but definitely in my spiritual awakening and my twin flame awakening. But I understand these burdens carried these burdens for many years before my spiritual awakening, but definitely on my spiritual awakening and twin flame journey. I've been that girl trying to find a light. I've been that girl. I've also been that lady trying to find a light. It's took me many, many years. It's a long, long path. And now I'm here. And that's not coming from an ego place. I have just done the work. I've put many, many years into healing myself. The dedication and the courage, the bravery that it takes to carry on, you know, going forward on this path is another level, especially when you have outsiders, disbelief, and your ego mind can also, you know, come into play, you know. So this stage, I would have still been in my ego mind, you know. My ego mind would not have been balanced, because you don't get rid of the ego. The ego is always part of you. It serves its purpose, you know. It needs to be part of you. It's that balance. What you do is you release these burdens. Each step of this journey, these burdens, these bonds get left behind. And you know, these wings, you can see these wings, but they want to merge, but they're just not quite ready at this stage. She's not pushed up that hill. She's not gone as far as she needed to, you know. She's going forward, but she's not gone to, you know, this level yet. But that's just transformation. That's the transformation that this journey takes us on. Wow, it's a long, 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 long road. Do we have any more, Spirit? I just asked if we've got any more when women had wings. And if not, I'll talk about the Mary Magdalene cards that I drew before coming online, after my my activation that I've just been doing. I was drawn to pull 2 cards while I was listening to the activation, and those 2 cards came out. Oh, 6 of Swords came out. Okay, 6 of Swords. Sailing away, moving on to better destinations, leaving the past behind. Yeah, that's what this journey is. When you start transforming and you start pushing through your burdens and your traumas and your wounds and your inner child, and you really, really go into this shadow work, the deeper parts of you, you know, that we all try to suppress, because, you know, these deeper parts of us can be too painful to face. It takes a brave, courageous person to go up against the deeper parts of us, you know. But when you do, wow, the transformation and what's waiting for us, that balance and the freedom and becoming the Queen of Wands, you leave it all behind. All behind. You release, and you've done that work, and you're sailing into clearer waters, you know. You leave that past behind. Can't stress that enough. You do. And you feel so much lighter. You feel like this lady here, you know, she's just balanced, and she's got beautiful angel wings I can see poking out here, and she's just dancing, and she's free, and she's balancing her cups. Yeah, she's just natural, isn't she? And happy and light. Total contrast. So the 6 of Wands, let's read a little bit from the 6 of Wands. Transition, safe passage, moving away from unhealthy situation, releasing baggage, emotional or physical, leaving the familiar behind. Yeah, you're going to clearer waters, you know. Still unexplored, because the next part of your journey, and the sadness and the heaviness, these burdens, what you've worked so hard to transform, you know, this, you know, you can't even see a face on this. That's at the beginning stages, maybe towards the middle, and yeah, maybe towards the back end of this journey. I can't speak for a timeline either, because everybody's difference is timeline. You know, my timeline, what I can pinpoint is 7 years. Also, not by chance, my life number is 7, and I've been seeing 777. So no coincidence. And also this card that came out from the Mary Magdalene is 16. Add the 1 and 6 together, you get 7. But also this card is 3 and 1. Add that together, you get 4. Add all these numbers together, you get you know, so you add them together, like the 1 and the 6, the 7, and the 3 and the 1, the 4. That makes 11. And I've been seeing 11, 11, and we're just, you know, the portal 111. No coincidences on this path. You know, Spirit has the way of getting the messages through to us. You know, so these burdens, the 10 of Wands. Let's get back to the 6 of Swords. And yeah, you've pushed through all of that to transform. You know, to yeah, to sail away, to clear the waters, to leave the burdens behind, to leave the past behind, to, yeah, different destination. But it's also still an unknown. So the next part of my journey in 2026, the year of the fire horse, is still unknown. And that's what I was saying when I first started this reading. Parts of this journey to me is unknown. Why? Because I am still the student. So if I knew all of this journey, well, there wouldn't be no more pushing through. There wouldn't be no more evolving. You know, for my soul, I just think I knew it all, and I don't know it all, and nobody knows it all. And that is why they say, you know, the master is always the student. You never, never, never stop learning on this journey. But the change does come where it gets more balanced, more lighter in self, then in this connection, then on your mission, you know, what you came here for. And this will bring me to these cards. So this card came out. Our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not our head. Yeah. So that simply is, when I speak about the ego mind, you know, when I first started this journey, when I was behind the 5 of Swords and I was the 10 of Wands, pushing those burdens out of the way and healing, I was all up in my ego mind. The word ego kept coming up to me, and I knew, well, I was also guided to working on things to do with the ego. So I thought, oh no, here we go, I'm at the ego stage of this journey, and the seer in me, you know, so my spiritual gifts allows me to see things, visions, clairaudience, clairvoyance, those gifts that have returned to me through the healing of, you know, through healing myself on this journey, allows me to see certain points, you know, prior to them coming. Yeah, visions, precognition, I used to call them, but clairaudience, clairvoyance, I know it as now. So they say, yeah, Mary Magdalene says, our truth is that which dwells in our hearts, not our heads. Yeah, this journey, it's a journey back to your heart, to your sacred heart. And when you find your sacred heart, what you know, the truth of who we really are, wow, that is another level when you find your heart, your true heart, your sacred heart. That is when you start speaking your truth, and you can step into your mission and helping others, you know, from the truth. Nothing else will do. It's the truth or nothing, you know, because when you come from the heart, that's all you can speak of. That is it. It's just you this journey that you take, you become the true authentic self, and nothing else will do. You know, it's authenticity or nothing. You can't be anything else other. And this card, our love for one another is through the sacred heart. Yeah. Everything. I can't stress it enough. You know, I went to see a palm reader in Santa Monica, on Santa Monica Beach. Just got drawn to this palm reader on my last holiday in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And yeah, not by chance, so I knew I had to go see her. And obviously I'm a tarot reader myself, but again, that student in me was not in the ego, because I was willing to go see another reader, although I do know certain parts of my path, because that seer in me, that clairvoyance in me. But again, I was humbly that student. I was willing to learn and hear something from another healer, you know, because you never stop learning. You never on this path. It's your soul's constantly evolving. That's what it's a path of. We're constantly evolving. But yeah, because I've done the work and I do come from the heart, the ego now is balanced in me. I can see, you know, I can see beyond the ego now. The ego does not, you know, rule me. So I'm a reader myself and a channel for spirit myself. Maybe years ago when my ego was a bit not unbalanced and I was in this Five of Swords and I'd not pushed through those burdens and healed, I maybe would have said, well, I can do that. What's the point in going to waste my money and go see another reader when I know it? Oh, I can do that. Maybe. I doubt it, because I was never like that anyway. But there has been times where I thought I've known better than somebody and they've known more than me. That's because my ego wasn't balanced. You know, it's totally balanced now. I'm also balanced in the energies of my divine feminine, divine masculine energy. How I know that? I know that deep within my soul, because I'm speaking of my journey to help others. If I wasn't balanced in those energies, I wouldn't speak of this journey. I'd have no right to speak of this journey to help others. It would be false of me to speak of this journey to help others if I had not done the healing myself and gone through the burdens myself and experienced this path. You cannot speak of what you have not experienced. You cannot help others or guide others what you have not gone through yourself. You just can't. You have to take that journey. You have to take that path of transformation. But yeah, you know, no false identity anymore. I've healed that when I took this journey. It's authenticity or nothing. But yeah, there you go. That's the reading for today. I think we've finished. Have you finished? Let's have a look. Angel. Let's get an angel scene. Now my readings and the my description of, you know, like I'm a Reiki practitioner, I like language, reader, work with the angels. That's because we're not just one. That is because we are multi-dimensional beings. That is why you might see readings on the angels, because the angels guide me. So do my high divine masters, feminine and masculine. I've had many come through to me over the years. My ancestors, spirit team. My guide, one of my guides is called Jerome. I've known that from early on. why I asked for the name of my guardian angel, and Jerome was the first name that came out. This was very, very early stages when I was just trying to figure out where the voices was coming from, you know, without going to the doctors. Because I was still in my ego mad. I was still battling with the transformation that was happening to me, and battling with, am I really, really communicating with the angels? Are they really, really communicating with me? I was still in that ego mind. I was finding it very, very hard, you know, to this card's just come out, my angels card, and this came out last night, and it was about the release, the blockages. Yeah, I was still here. I was still trying to release the blockages inside myself and to raise my frequency, you know. So when you start working on your chakra system, this came out last night, that's why it's in this pack, but they also want to talk about it. No coincidences on this path. What you find, or what will find you is no coincidences. You know, that's why I always speak about, be aware of the signs and synchronicities, angel numbers. You know, be open to the signs that they are leaving for us. But yeah, just quickly, because we're getting on to 40 minutes, and these take quite a while to go through. I release energy that is blocking my inner vibrational flow. Yeah. I was still in quite a low vibration back then, until I did this transformation work, until I started pushing through my wounds and traumas, the inner child, mother wounds, father wounds, all of that, what we go through on this path. We go very, very deep, you know, and the layers, layer after layer. But this bird's just caught my eye also, and they're saying that is because we start seeing things from a different perspective. We see things from a different view. Once we start balancing our chakras out and removing those blockages from our energy centres, clarity comes into us, and you know, the emotional, the mental, the physical and spiritual body starts to balance out also. But we also see things from a different view, different perspective. Yeah, when I started seeing and realising, understanding that angels was really, really communicating with me, and higher divine masters, was because I changed the view. The view changed for me, because I did the healing also, the seeing. Right, that was the card. That was the angels card. And that is not in my angels oracle pattern either. That is from my positivism. There you go. That's your reading for today, and I shall speak to you all soon. Have a lovely day. Love from me, the angels, the higher masters, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.